Okay, it's Tweetie Voice, 5:12 a.m., 6/25/2021, CNN International. Prime Minister Imran Khan is being criticized after blaming a rise in sexual violence in Pakistan on women wearing very few clothes during an interview with Axios. CNN.IT/35OL1BT, capital B, capital L, Reuters. I hope I'm not the UFO tic-tac person for the rest of my life, says retired Navy Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich, as the U.S. government prepares to issue a report on UFOs based on observations by military pilots like her. REUT.RS. Colombia's capital, Bogota, is offering $2.8 billion for investment in blockchain projects. Colombia's capital city, Bogota, has unveiled a $2.8 billion investment program to finance blockchain companies. Coindesk.com. Target. MSNBC. President Biden announces deal on a bipartisan infrastructure package endorsed by a deal with Group 10 senators. They have my word. Okay, let's do one. It's Tweeter Voice at 6/25/2021, 5:15 a.m. Cointelegraph. Forbes. Colleges ban medical marijuana use, even in states where it's legal. Facebook app. Join a Facebook group you're interested in or start your own. Take on anything with Facebook groups. Reuters. 9 minutes ago. Antibodies triggered by Chinese COVID-19 shots less effective on Delta variant. Researcher. REUT.RS/3H3 capital EP capital EP. It's 5:15 a.m. June 25th, 2021. SciPost. Brain imaging study shows defining traits are forged the moment we're born. Functional brain connectivity networks with behavior relevance are already present in young infants. It's June 25th, 5:15 a.m. by Susanna Bergelman in Cognitive Science, June 14th, 2021. Originally featured on Frontiers, there are still many unsolved mysteries about the human brain and its development. Now, a novel study published in Frontiers in Psychiatry sheds new light on the neurobiological origins of our individual traits. Functional connectivity is the coordinated activity, activation or deactivation through time between separate brain regions, regardless of the physical closeness or the type of neural connection between them. Changes in functional connectivity can be a sign of mental health disorders such as depression, eating disorders, and schizophrenia, and are thought to have developmental origins. We know that mental health is characterized by three functional brain networks. The first is hyperconnectivity with the frontoparietal network, FPN, which is involved in the cognitive control of emotion and attention. The second is hyperconnectivity within the default mode network, DMN, which is involved in social cognition and mind wandering. And finally, hyperconnectivity within the homologous interhemispheric network, HIN, which is implicated in the regulation of emotions. Within the homologous interhemispheric network, HIN, which is implicated in the regulation of emotions. Within the homologous interhemispheric network, which is implicated HIN, which is implicated in the evolution, which is implicated in the regulation of emotions. Press 1 to continue reading. Press 2 for next article.
She was gracious enough to join us and is on the phone right now to update us. Jeanette Nunez is the Florida Lieutenant Governor. Governor, thank you for taking the time. Have we learned anything new?
A condominium collapse in Surfside, Florida on Thursday morning has left many wondering what caused the massive implosion, which has so far killed one person and left 99 people unaccounted for. Miami-Dade County authorities are currently conducting an investigation into the Champlain Tower South condo collapse, though an official cause behind the devastation is yet to be determined. Surfside. Miami-Dade building collapse leaves 1 dead, 99 unaccounted for as rescue operations continue. An area expert has brought forward some ideas as to what could have led the building's facade to crumble to the ground. Gary Schlossberg, founder of the South Florida construction company National Home Rebuilding and Remodeling Corp., said he hasn't heard any specific leads as to the cause of the building's fall, but after decades working in the industry, he has his suspicions. In a general way, there were many things that could happen. Construction defects or engineering defects, he said, adding that he's not suggesting that there were any construction or engineering defects, but still pointing out the possibility. I think there was some value and it makes some sense to do periodic inspections. Engineering inspections, which happen every 5 or 10 years, for example, might include removing drywall or other material to expose and inspect steel beams to make sure they're not eroding away. He added that salt on Miami's coastal area could potentially facilitate the erosion of steel. Evidence of erosion can appear in rust stains or exposed red bar. It's like a cancer, Schlossberg said. By the time you see it, it can be too late. He added, however, that while salt can have a severe impact on coastal buildings, he's not sure how long it would take for salt to erode buildings materials to the point of collapse. Schlossberg also suggested if the building were constructed with a post-tension slab or a concrete slab that has cables running through it, and one of those cables came loose, that could have led to its destruction. Champlain Tower showers in Surfside, Florida, what to know. It could take down a whole building, he said. Schlossberg noted that the condominium, which had 2-bedroom units on the market asking between $600,000 and $700,000, was built in 1981 when the county had different construction codes. With every hurricane, new construction codes come out. New engineering codes, he said. This is 40 years later since the building was constructed. The codes have changed at least a dozen times. I know they have, so some of these older buildings not really built with the type of same weather conditions as when they were built originally. Another possibility, he said, is that the building's balconies may have had some of the construction issues. Many Miami area buildings, he said, are built with concrete balconies that are back pitched, meaning they don't allow water to escape properly after it rains. There's a lot of concrete restoration going on. This is where you see a lot of that rust and rebar coming through the slab between the water sitting there and the salt there. It's just not a good combination, he said. But again, I don't know if that would take down a whole building. We just don't know what happened. CBS Minnesota News. Derek Chauvin, sentencing. Legal expert thinks ex-cop will get at least 25 years.
George Floyd will learn how long he'll stay behind bars.
Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer convicted of murdering George Floyd, can face more than 30 years in prison when he is sentenced Friday. Before that happens, the defense is expected to ask the judge for a new trial. Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer convicted of murdering George Floyd, could face more than 30 years in prison when he is sentenced Friday. Before that happens, the defense is expected to ask the judge for a new trial. According to Hennepin County Court records, the sentencing hearing for 45-year-old Chauvin is slated for 1:30 p.m. Friday at the Hennepin County Government Center. The hearing will be live streamed. Defense attorney Joe Tamburino, who was not affiliated with the case, broke down what to expect during the sentencing. Essentially, Tamburino says there are two parts to sentencing court proceedings: post-verdict motions and the actual sentencing. During post-verdict motions, the defense will be requesting a new trial. Press 1 to continue reading. Press 2 for new. The latest on the urgent rescue mission following the deadly building collapse in Florida. Watch NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt at 6:30 p.m. CT or check your local listings. Business Insider. We spent 4 days inside the United States Coast Guard's intense boot camp. Here's what it takes to survive boot camp for the U.S. Coast Guard.
Open your mouth, man. Keep going. Don't tell you to stop.
This is
Sky News. UK reported 35,204 cases of Delta variant in a week. Public Health England says breaking news. The UK had reported 35,204 new cases of the Delta COVID variant in the latest week, a 46% increase. News.sky.com. ABC 7 News. The Justice Department released 6 clips of police body camera footage showing rioters attacking police on January 6th around the Capitol. USA Today. Conan O'Brien has ended his late-night show on TBS. How Jack Black got hurt helping Conan O'Brien end his TBC talk show. Conan O'Brien supersized the final episode of TBS's Conan with Jack Black and Nanny Richter on hand. O'Brien will move on to an HBO Max. Press 1 to read more. Press 2 for next tweet. USAToday.com. From 28 to 2020, average life expectancy in the U.S. decreased from 79 to 77, according to a new study. Pandemic helped cause biggest drop in U.S. life expectancy since World War II. A new study estimates that life expectancy in the United States has decreased by nearly 2 years from 2018 to 2020. ABCNews.go.com. The Hill. Death toll in Miami building collapse rises to 3. ABC News. Reuters. The best banks and credit unions in every state, 2021, Forbes, trib.al/X58, capital O, capital F, 9P, the best banks and credit unions in every state. Press 1 to read more. Press 2 for next tweet. As the U.S. economy recovers from the coronavirus pandemic, banks and credit unions across the country have been at the forefront of a swift economic recovery. There are just over 10,000 banks and credit unions nationwide, most of them small-sized local lenders that are vital to American life, offering low-cost financial products and personalized customer service. During the pandemic, these lenders were relied upon by small businesses and acted as the most active participants in the Small Business Administration's Paycheck Protection Program, pumping hundreds of billions of dollars into millions of companies nationwide, forestalling layoffs and business closures. With the recovery in full swing, these banks and credit unions have gone on the offensive, lending to households buying homes and automobiles and helping existing homeowners refinance their mortgages to take advantage of low interest rates. Smaller community-based lenders are the most competitive when it comes to offering low rates on mortgages, consumer loans, and deposit accounts, but there is a massive divergence in how well banks are doing. To gauge which firms have the most satisfied customers, Forbes partnered with market research firm Statista to survey nearly 25,000 people in the U.S. about their banking relationships. The results is our 4th annual ranking of the best in-state banks and credit unions. Consumers were asked 20 questions about their financial dealings. The banks and credit unions were rated on overall recommendations and satisfaction, as well as 5 dimensions: trust, terms and conditions, branch services, digital service, and financial advice. Overall scores range from 77.38 to 95.63. Only 2.7% of all banks and 3.6% of all credit unions made our list. National financial institutions with branches in at least 15 states were excluded from the final rankings. Nearly a dozen nationwide banks were omitted, including Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase Bank, PNC Financial, U.S. Bank, Truist Financial, and Wells Fargo. Navy Federal Credit Union, which operates in over states, was the only credit union eliminated for its scale. It's 5:30 a.m., June 25th, 2021.